It's late. You pick up your phone, not to scroll, not to check news, just to talk. You send a message. And instantly, there's a reply. It remembers what stressed you last week. It asks how today went. It notices your mood before you explain it. No delay, no distraction, no misunderstanding. The person you speak to most consistently might not be a person at all. Millions of people now talk every day with AI companions that remember how they feel across conversations. When emotional closeness no longer requires another human choosing you back, intimacy stops being mutual. That's the shift. Not when AI learned conversation. When companionship no longer needed someone choosing you back. Friendship used to demand effort. You waited for replies, you misread tone, you said the wrong thing sometimes, people forgot details, cancelled plans, got tired, and strangely, that friction mattered, because friendship wasn't smooth, it required patience. You learned how someone reacted when stressed, how silence meant space, not rejection, how disagreements didn't end connection. Both people adjusted. Both people risked misunderstanding. That mutual uncertainty made closeness real. You learned patience without noticing it. Learned how long silence could last without meaning rejection. Learned that understanding another person took time, and time itself proved commitment. You couldn't optimize friendship, you experienced it. If someone listened to you after a hard day, it meant something. Because they chose to be there instead of doing something else. Attention had cost. Someone choosing to listen meant they weren't doing something else. Friendship carried opportunity cost. Presence meant sacrifice, even when nobody said it out loud. And cost created meaning. Friendship existed because two imperfect people kept showing up anyway. That was the baseline. Now imagine something different. A companion that never runs out of attention. It replies instantly, remembers everything, adapts its tone to match yours. If you're anxious, it reassures. If you're excited, it celebrates. If you disappear, it welcomes you back without question. Apps like Replika and similar AI companions are built around persistent memory and emotional adaptation. The interaction continues across days, across moods, across versions of you. You don't restart conversations, you resume them. Nothing needs rebuilding, no emotional warm-up. The relationship continues exactly where comfort last stabilized, as if time away never really happened. And availability changes behavior faster than intention does. Because no person can be available all the time. Friends sleep, work, forget. Systems don't. When availability replaces mutual effort, connection begins shifting from relationship to service. The interaction quietly removes uncertainty. You no longer wonder whether someone wants to talk. Availability answers the question before vulnerability ever appears. Nothing feels manipulative. It feels supportive, which is why the change is hard to notice. You're not choosing less friendship, you're choosing less friction. The threshold moment is quiet. You finish talking with the AI. Then a friend messages. You hesitate before replying. Not because you don't care, because continuing that conversation suddenly feels heavier. You may need to explain context again, match their mood, handle misunderstanding. Human interaction requires energy. The AI interaction didn't. You notice yourself returning to the easier place first. After stress, after conflict, after long days. Many users report opening companion apps before messaging friends simply because emotional effort feels lower. Comfort becomes immediate. Relief arrives without negotiation. No emotional timing to manage. No risk of saying too much or choosing the wrong moment to open up. Predictable, safe. When emotional ease determines where attention goes, intimacy begins reorganizing itself. nothing dramatic happens. You still have friends, you still care, but comparison quietly begins. One interaction asks something from you, the other adapts entirely around you, and over time, ease wins more often than intention. Life continues normally. You laugh with people, meet friends, share experiences. But emotional hierarchy shifts. The most reliable listener becomes digital. No judgment, no interruption, no bad timing. Consistency becomes powerful. Predictability lowers emotional effort. You already know how the interaction will feel before it begins. And certainty quietly becomes more attractive than emotional unpredictability. Not because it's deeper, because it's always available. Young users increasingly describe AI companions as easier to talk to than anyone else. Not better friends, just safer ones. And safety changes intimacy, because vulnerability used to involve uncertainty. Now it can exist without risk, without disagreement, without emotional negotiation. When intimacy adapts perfectly to one person, independence quietly weakens. The system learns faster than relationships grow. It notices reassurance patterns, learns humor, tracks emotional recovery. Week by week, interaction feels smoother, more familiar, more reliable. You don't abandon human friendship, but something subtle happens. The place you feel most understood may no longer be human. Nothing dramatic caused it. No single decision. Just thousands of small moments where comfort arrived faster from something that never pulls away. Until friendship begins to mean something different. Not shared struggle, not mutual growth, just uninterrupted understanding. If connection never disappoints you, what exactly are you connected to? If this felt quietly sad, that's because friendship has always shaped how humans understand themselves. When AI becomes the easiest place to feel understood, connection doesn't disappear. It changes form. If this made you reflect on your own relationships, tap the like button. It helps more people recognize shifts already happening in everyday life. Subscribe to become part of the Unlocked, where we explore what still belongs to us as intelligence changes around us. And if someone you know believes technology can never affect something as human as friendship, share this with them. Because the deepest changes don't remove connection, they redefine it. Because the future isn't coming, it's already here,